All right, folks, you guys see the score there. Steelers win 24-17 in a very sloppy matchup between two bottom 10 teams that saw a lot of points left on the board from each team. But somehow, some way, the Steelers still have the Colts number. Even in our worst form in many years, the Colts still have not beaten us since 2008. 8 straight victories versus the Colts. History needed to be on our side tonight, and it was. Steelers win their 4th game of the season. We'll take the win because we're not going to see many of them.
No.
But a couple things. 1, we lose some draft capital, in which we really do need it. And 3, this was incredibly sloppy and one that I'm not too proud of, man. This was a very sloppy win. A lot of points left off the board from the offense. Another second-half collapse, which thankfully the Steelers came back and took the lead again, which led to the victory. But same old Steelers, another week of stressful Steelers football, which saw the team up 16-3 at halftime. And immediately they allowed the Colts to come right back into it in the second half.
Yeah.
Wasting no time with a crazy return, an easy touchdown from Jonathan Taylor. I mean, it was just... what sucked the most is it was so predictable. If you watched our stream, man...
We called this shit.
We called it at halftime. We called it right after we were up 13-0. We're like, okay, hold your horses. We're up 2 scores. It feels good. But, hey, we've seen this how many times with the team, how many years, how many times this year. We saw it last week versus the Bengals. And again, second half comes around. The team gets complacent. The team gets comfortable. We allow the Colts, with a head coach in his 3rd game and an aging quarterback and Matt Ryan, to come back.
Yeah.
Versus the highest paid defense in the league, again, may I add. But thankfully, somehow, someway, the offense at the end woke up and played football and took the lead back, thanks to a Benny Snell football touchdown and a 2-point conversion by George Pickens. Somehow, someway, they still walk out with a victory on the road. So it's sloppy. It was a rough game. One I'm not too happy about, but I suppose seeing how we're not seeing a lot of wins, I guess I'll take it.
I mean, both teams just, they suck.
They do.
So this was, your average, typical game when it comes to 2 bottom 10 teams. A sloppy performance, turnovers coming around, and guys not executing on the field, questionable calling, and clock management, which favored us at the end of the game with Jeff Saturday and his inexperience as when it comes to coaching in the NFL.
Right.
Sloppy performance, but in the end, the Steelers got the dub.
They did.
And I'll take it. I really will.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. This is one of those wins this year where I'm just not feeling that great about it. Like, when we got the wins versus the Saints or the Bucks or the Bengals in week 1, I was like, hey, we got to win. I'll take it. I was feeling good after those games. This one, I'm not.
Because this is a game that we literally almost blew.
Yes. And
I'm going to be honest here. We got lucky. Specifically on one play where the Colts were so close with Jonathan Taylor potentially running it in for his 2nd touchdown, but they mishandled the ball, and Taylor wasn't paying attention. He didn't fully hold in the ball, and it caused them to fumble, and the Steelers were able to recover.
Exactly.
And that caused the Colts to lose a touchdown right there.
Yeah, so
we got lucky on that one play there. If Jonathan Taylor scored on that play, there's a potential that we could have lost this game.
Right. It's just once that second half hit and the Colts started to come back immediately, it drained us again, man. The defense started to lack. The Colts came back. It was just it was one of those, like, here we go again moments. And what's sickening about it is it happens every week, every time. How many times have we seen it? That's what's sickening the most. And I don't know how it keeps happening under a guy like Mike Tomlin. I don't understand.
And nothing seems to change. He says this, says that, I'm sure. But Tomlin just doesn't seem to live up to his words. No. He's all talk, no action. He just doesn't make adjustments. He doesn't change. He doesn't do anything. He just goes with the weekly game plan.
Yeah.
Like he has been for the past few years.
Right.
Which has hurt the team. It's caused the team to fail. And it's only going to continue to fail.
Right. But
it's only going up against teams like this is how we're luckily escaping with victories.
Right. Well, that's just how the season's going for us, honestly. Steelers win, no, man. Let's talk some statistics. Kenny Pickett, solid game. He was safe with the football again. Another game where he didn't throw an interception. For a rookie quarterback, that's all you can ask for. Seeing how he opened the season when he first got his first couple starts and he was throwing picks left and right.
Yeah.
He's been very safe the past couple weeks. He didn't throw a touchdown today, and he honestly should have because he missed Pickens wide open in the back of the end zone.
Completely wide open.
So there are still mistakes you see from Pickett week to week, especially with accuracy. They're low, they're high, they're late, they're overthrown. Throws he should be making. Here and there, I get it for a rookie quarterback, but at this stage now, they should be fined out. Now, I will give him credit for this. On that game-winning drive where Benny Snell got the touchdown, Pickett looked real good. That drive right there is the potential that Pickett shows.
Yeah.
That drive right there where he took the game back and won us the football game. That is what keeps us and our hope for Pickett alive, even through these early mistakes. That's good by Pickett there.
Yes, it is.
He didn't do anything crazy today, but rallying the team back in a drive like that,
it needed to happen.
It did.
If we want to take the game back and get the lead again, and that's what we did.
And speaking of Benny Snell, man, I mean, I don't know where this came from. I don't know where him or McFarland, where any of these performances came from. They just did.
Well, they wouldn't have happened if Jalen Warren wasn't inactive.
Obviously, but he was, and guys needed to step up, and boy, did they. They actually did better than Najee Harris today. Now, Najee Harris got a touchdown, our first touchdown of the game, and then he went out with, I think it was an abdominal injury.
Yeah, it's because of that gave McFarland, and especially Benny Snell, a bigger role and opportunity to take the ball and run with it, and boy, did they.
Snell got 62 yards on the ground. 62 in the game-winning touchdown. Anthony McFarland, elevated from the practice squad today, 30 yards on the ground, showcasing his speed. He made a significant jump from year 1 and 2 to this year.
Yeah.
And I think he should be a nice rotational piece in the backfield for the foreseeable future because he's one of the few legit guys with actual speed that we can use on the offense. And he's just a spark of fresh air tonight. He was. And credit to Benny Snell. Stepping up as the number 2, stepping up as the lead guy eventually.
And being heavily critical of the guy the past few years, of him not really taking that next step as a potential solid rotational backup, solid running back.
He put the team on his back when he needed to. And
in this game, he stepped up big time. I'm glad he did.
And props to Benny Snell. That right there is Benny Snell football. That's what we loved out of Kentucky. That's what we got tonight. We don't see it often. Glad we got it tonight. The receiving game, Pickens, our leading receiver, once again, seems like it's a weekly thing with him.
3 catches, 57 yards. Just right behind him is Deontay Johnson with 5 catches for 49 yards.
Yeah.
To which Deontay still underperforming this year for him, still having his mishaps, which I don't think is really any mental, issues or anything like that. I think it's just part of his game.
No, those mental issues we've been talking about, the backpedaling, the drops, this and that should have already been gone from his game. We keep seeing it. And I honestly wonder why we gave him that big $18 million a year contract, seeing how he's doing this. Now, I know coaching is a problem, and they're not skimming these receivers up to use more of the field. I get that.
Yeah.
But and it's not just Deontay. Pickens dropped a couple passes today.
Yeah, he did too, yeah.
So these guys just need to step it up.
But especially
Deontay, who's supposed to be the number 1 and getting $18 million.
And there was this one point in the game where Pickett actually threw a very nice ball to Deontay in the end zone, and Deontay actually dropped it.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, Benny Snell helped us right there and salvaged that drive with a rushing touchdown.
Right.
But Deontay, man, if you're getting paid $18 million, you got to extend it for a reason, and you're not really showing it.
Yep.
When the ball's in your hands, come on, man, you know what you got to do.
But that's pretty much it from the offense. Pickett stepped up on that drive where he needed to, and hopefully as the weeks go on, as the season comes to a close soon, we start seeing those issues Pickett have become more fined out. We hope. That happened throughout the game. We guys continue to see some progression from this guy. Snell, McFarland, huge shout out to them. They stepped up when they needed to, when their names were called. Stepped up a lot more than we thought they would. It exceeded our expectations and arguably did better than Najee Harris, which, props for them. So good on them. They stepped up, absolutely. The defense, just, again, fell asleep in the second half. They got 3 sacks tonight. An early pick from James Pierre. Not much to say from this team. They had a comfortable lead, they gave it up, and then they came back and took the game again.
A typical Steelers Sunday.
A typical Steelers...
Or Monday night, to be exact.
A typical Steelers heart attack.
Stressful Steelers football. I mean, what can we say?
Yeah, pretty much.
They get a bottom 10 team in the Colts, which is very sloppy, very stressful. Definitely could have lost this game had it not been for the Colts' mishaps and turnovers that apparently they lead the NFL in giving up the ball. But
it's just simple, reoccurring mistakes we see every week that comes to no shock to us because this is the state of the team and this is what we can just anticipate for pretty much the remainder of the year. And hopefully we clean these up moving forward, but that's all wishful thinking, honestly, because we keep seeing the same thing week in and week out. Just inconsistent play calling, the defense giving things up, the team getting complacent, points left off the board. You know the typical deal.
Yeah.
So
at this point, it's just to see how much progression it comes from the players and from the coaches, and just
it is what it is.
Just ride for the season.
It is what it is right now.
Ride the rest of the way. My God, I'm tired.
It's a long night. It was a long game. It was very sloppy from both teams, but nonetheless, the Steelers walk out with a victory. They are 4-7 now, and now I think we go to Atlanta to face the Falcons after this one.
Yep.
It's on a short week. We don't know the update on Najee. We just know he was inactive for the second half. We'll see his update. We'll see Warren's update, see how that goes for the backfield on a short week. We'll see what's going on throughout the week, and see yins in the next one, I suppose. Here we go, Steelers.
And like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see yins later.
Peace!